Shalom, children. In our story last time, Yeshua commanded a raging storm to be calm. Then later, he commanded unclean spirits to leave two violent men, and they also became calm. Do you remember what happened next? Unclean spirits entered a very large herd of swine, which ran down a steep hill into the water and drowned. The local people were not very happy about it, were they? Our story continues today with a very sad man named Jairus. Jairus was an elder at the synagogue. He was feeling so upset because his 12-year-old daughter had become sick and was dying. How terrible for her mother and father. Jairus just had to do something, so he went looking for Yeshua. When he found him, he told him about his daughter and pleaded with him to come to his house quickly and heal her before it was too late. Yeshua agreed to help and followed Jairus to the house. Many others followed along too. Do you think they were curious about what would happen to the little girl? Do you think he will manage to get there in time? The people crowded around Yeshua as he walked. Amongst them was a woman who was very ill and feeling quite desperate. You see, she had been suffering from a terrible condition for 12 years. She had been to many different doctors and had spent all her money trying to find a cure, but no one could help. The woman thought to herself, "If only I could get near to Yeshua and touch the hem of his garment, I will be made whole." She pushed her way through and reached down for his hem. When she touched the garment, she immediately felt better. Having felt power work through him, Yeshua stopped and stood still. He asked, "Who touched me?" He turned around to see the woman sat there, and he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you whole. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." Now, perhaps you are wondering, how could touching the hem of Yeshua's garment bring healing? When we need a clearer understanding of what we are reading, it is helpful to look at other scriptures in the Bible. In Psalm 61 it says, "I will abide in your tabernacle forever. I will trust in the shelter of your wings." What King David means is, he will live in Yahweh's eternal kingdom by trusting in the shelter or the protection of Yah's wings. Wings mean the edge of something or the border. Let's keep digging a bit more. What did Yahweh tell Moshe to put on the wings or border of their garments? In the book of Numbers we read, "Tell them to make tassels on the corners of their garments, tzitzit, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Adonai." So, in our story, when the woman reached for Yeshua's hem, her actions showed she believed the Torah would bring healing, and then lead her to dwell in Yahweh's eternal kingdom. Then we heard Yeshua said to the woman, "Daughter, your faith has made you whole." In Psalm 17, King David wrote, "Keep me as the apple, the daughter of thy eye. Hide me under the shadow of your wings." When Yeshua called her daughter, he was telling her that she was seen as precious by the Father, that she understood correctly. Being in covenant with Yahweh would bring blessing to her life and hope of everlasting life in the kingdom to come. Isn't it wonderful to hear the woman was feeling whole again after suffering so long? But what about the little girl who is sick and dying? A man from Yairus' home came up to him and said, "Your daughter is dead. Do not trouble Yeshua to come to the house anymore." Yeshua replied, "Do not be afraid, only believe." When they got to Rabbi Yairus' house, there were many people mourning and crying outside. Yeshua said to them, "Do not weep. She is not dead, but sleeping." He went inside to where the girl was laying. He took hold of her hand and said, "Young girl, arise." Immediately she got up from the bed, and Yeshua told the parents to fetch her some food. As you can imagine, they were astonished. That day, the people's mourning had turned into dancing. As Yeshua left the house, 2 blind men followed him, saying, "Son of David, have mercy on us." Yeshua asked the men, "Do you believe I am able to do this?" They both answered yes. Yeshua then touched their eyes. "According to your faith, be it done unto you." And their eyes were opened. Then a man was brought to Yeshua who could not speak. He had an unclean spirit, which made him unable to communicate. Yeshua commanded the unclean spirit to leave, and incredibly, the man was able to talk. Well, this crowd was amazed too and said to each other, "This was never seen in Israel." Yeshua did so many wonderful signs in our story today. A dead girl was brought back to life. A long-term sickness was healed. Blind men had their eyes opened. And remarkably, a mute man was able to speak again. Yeshua continued traveling around the cities and the villages, preaching about the kingdom of Elohim. When he saw the great crowds that had taken their time to come and hear him, he had great compassion on them. When he looked at them, he saw them as sheep being scattered all around, with no shepherd to guide them. He told his taught ones, "The harvest is great, that is very big, but there are not many laborers to go out and harvest." He told them to pray to Yahweh, the master of the harvest, to send the workers needed. Children, we can help with the harvest. A good place to start is being obedient to Adonai, so we have good fruit, which will shine like a light before others. Perhaps a friend may ask you why you do the things you do. That would be a wonderful opportunity to sow seeds about Adonai into their life. Maybe you have a younger brother or sister. We set a good example of what it looks like to have Elohim as our king each time you show patience and kindness towards them. Well, children, that is the end of our story for today. So we will see you next time for another exciting journey in the life of Yeshua. Shalom.